Ray Dalio said that there is one holy grail in trading, and it is uncorrelated strategies. This one principle alone has resulted in over 100,000 in profits in 2023 for me. But it wasn't overnight. To save you some money and time, here's exactly how I did it. I'm unbiased trading, and let's get straight into this. First, before we get into any of the book recommendations or the tips in general, I want to set some clear expectations. I've been trading for almost 5 years now, but creating futures algos really almost broke me. As we can see on my drawdown chart on the right hand side, I went into a very steep, almost 55%. Actually, no, it was a bit higher. I think it was like 59% drawdown in the beginning of 2023 when trying to figure out some of my kind of futures algo strategy creations, and they were heavily overfit and went into a steep drawdown because of it. So expect to make mistakes and be sure to only risk what you're happy to lose. As with all trading, you need to make sure that you're ready to lose that pot of money, especially in the beginning. Even if you are successful in another part of trading, if you go into a new area or realm, I always like to think about it that you're starting almost from zero. You really don't want to have those expectations that you're going to knock it out of the park because you were good at another part of trading. So building the foundation is the next part. So evidence-based technical analysis by David Arson was a game changer for my small cap systematic trading. It enhanced my understanding of quantification. What that basically means is, let's say we have a trend line idea, or you could even say a mean reversion idea. You are able to quantify that, so putting that into if and then kind of terms, or you can also say quantifying into code, so you can actually historically test it. And this book was a game changer for that. Before reading it, I was okay. I think I was about subpar with my quantification kind of skills, and some ideas I did still struggle with. But after reading this really helped flesh it out. And as I did more and more back tests, that just became a really key skill of mine, where I can pretty much look at any strategy now and find some kind of way to quantify it and then test it. But the key thing was it lacked any portfolio knowledge. Now, this was a key issue because at this time, I still knew that, one strategy wasn't going to be the holy grail but I still had some misguided ideas of how difficult it would be to build a portfolio of strategies and how really to go about that. I thought you just had to find a lot of really good strategies and then kind of combine them together, and that was the main idea. And realistically, I hadn't actually done any reading on portfolio kind of trading, just because I always thought portfolio in my brain was, hey, that's me holding a couple stocks together, and I never really thought about it as a portfolio of strategies. So I had to hunt for another way to compensate this lack of skill. That's when I found Advanced Portfolio Management by, I'm afraid I'm not going to pronounce his name. I feel like I'm absolutely going to butcher it, but you can see it on the book on the right-hand side. It enhanced my understanding of managing factor risk, hedging formulations, and now I just needed to build strategies after consuming a lot of knowledge in this book. Now, I will say, still a lot of it is about fundamental and quant analysis to come together, so it is more about like not a macro scale to some extent, but there are some macro kind of things in there where if you were to try and create a hedge fund or something like that, where you were introducing quant or systematic routes in with fundamental analysis, this is a great book for that. But even just for my use case, a decent chunk of this book was really vital in me understanding portfolios in a more tangible way than what I had understood before. Now, I'm going to read off a couple notes from my friend PyQuant, who did an amazing thread about this book. I think he did around 3 or 4 kind of the key tips of this book. And some of them were the kind of key lessons I learned from this book, and he put it in such a great way. I'm just going to kind of read that off for you. So diversification is super important when managing your investments. You can achieve this by using quantitative models. The kind of 3 main methods the book references is using quantitative methods to find assets that aren't related to each other, so mainly uncorrelated. Put your money into different investments based on the volatility, and then gain valuable insights by using multi-factor models. If you want to understand more about multi-factor models, then I'd definitely recommend reading the book. It would be kind of a separate whole YouTube video if I really wanted to go into that kind of topic, and especially just because I'm only for this kind of year, I guess, been implementing it. I don't feel that I want to speak too much and take away from anything that's been, incredibly well written in this book. The next part about this book was it's all about using systematic data and model-driven decisions to take your investments or trading to kind of the next level using portfolios. How that is mentioned in the book is by using statistical significance as one way to increase your accuracy of your decision making, applying algorithms for risk optimization. That can be a very good way of hedging or different kind of ways of just reducing your drawdowns and risks. And then lastly, you can merge quant techniques with fundamental analysis if you wanted to go down that route, which can be a really powerful combination. Next is going from the ultimate algo to just decent returns. I had to shift my focus, and instead of hunting for, a mythical perfect strategy, I had to embrace the power of portfolio diversification. This was mainly done by dusting off old ideas, so I revisited past strategies, reverse engineered successful ones, and built upon new insights from books and online resources, or even other traders. Then I just had to do a lot of testing, and testing is really king here. 90% of strategies are duds most of the time, meaning they're unprofitable, and you really need a robust testing process to go through. So this would include backtests, robustness checks, correlation tests, and forward testing. And those are your main shield against false flags. And if you have any questions about that, make sure to check out some of my other videos, as I have done videos about backtesting, robustness testing. I haven't done a video yet on correlation. I think I'll try and do that very soon, as I have been reading a lot more into it and actually practically using it in my trading. However, it's a bit of a deeper topic, so I'm not too sure how many of you would actually want to find out about that. Now, this isn't for everyone. If you don't like meticulous testing and model building, alternative trading styles might be better. Building a portfolio is way more time consuming than you would originally think. You would think, hey, I just have to find a couple good strategies, put them together. But realistically, if you're finding the same strategies that all correlated, you're not really actually building a portfolio. You're just building to some extent, for a lack of better terms, you're almost building like an ultimate leveraged position on just one particular sector or whatever you're kind of trading that those strategies are correlated to. So, it goes into a lot more complications than you'd originally expect, because you are trying to find strategies that fit very well together and not fit on top of, if that kind of makes sense. Next is don't do it alone. So that's why I networked as much as possible. I had a call with an algo trader over 2023 that was making over 100K a month at the time. This 1 hour call really saved me months of mistakes. So be sure to access those ahead of you and then implement, analyze, and iterate on their advice. It's never as just simple as just taking someone's advice most of the time. Sometimes it does work. I guess if you're more in the beginning stages of trading, sometimes plainly just taking advice can actually really be useful. But at least from what I've learned is normally you take someone's advice, try and apply it to your situation, see if it kind of works, and then iterate on it. Maybe add different aspects or remove aspects from what they've told you. But I think that's a really key kind of process. Now, I actually did a video about this 1 hour call on my channel, so be sure to check it out if you want to find out all the lessons I learned from him. The video is called Inside the Mind of an Algo Trader. I've by no means mastered algorithmic trading, and I still have many key weaknesses in my portfolio. So please don't assume I have all the answers for portfolio trading. I'm still newer to this. I do like just sharing my journey as I'm kind of building along with this. I have seen success with futures trading, but obviously, realistically, a 1 year track record on futures algos isn't overly huge. I have been trading profitably for almost now 3 years. It was about 2 years and a half, but we're getting into 2024 now. Time is just skipping by. So it's almost 3 years, but I've been overall trading for about 5. But the main point of this was, if I didn't focus on trying to find uncorrelated strategies, I would still be stuck trying to find the ultimate algo and be overfitting every night trying to find perfect strategies to potentially maybe put together, or just find the one that's going to do 1,000% returns every year. I really hope you can learn something from my experience. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like it and share it with anyone else who might be interested, and let me know below if you are interested in maybe a correlation video or other topics, and I'll try and create those for you.